This is a disaster for the Mets. Another day, another Mets loss. Another heartbreaking loss. Another brutal loss. Vibes are low. Wins can't seem to be found. What can this team do to turn things around? I am Adam Choit, your host for today here on Mets Digest. And before we dig in on all that, I just want to give you guys a quick heads up, a quick reminder to please subscribe, because as you can see here, nearly 68% of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed. So please take a quick second to do that. It is appreciated for sure. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get into it. This Mets team is not playing very well. 7 in a row. They've lost 11 of 12. What a disaster it's been for this team lately, to say the least. Another brutal loss today. Let's dig in on it. Let's recap what's been going wrong for this team. Even Edwin Diaz isn't immune from the stench that has engulfed the Mets over the past 2 weeks. The all-star closer could only drop his head and stroll from the mound after throwing his 5th pitch in Sunday's 9th inning. Isaac Collins lofted that slider over the right field fence, sending the Mets to their 7th straight loss and 11th in 12 games, 7-6 to the sizzling Brewers at American Family Field. That's Mike Puma from the New York Post. A little recap today. The Mets blew a 5-0 lead. It's not been good times for the Mets lately at all. The starters aren't going deep. There's been errors in the field, lack of clutch hitting. Lindor's in a huge slump. Nimmo's in a huge slump. Jeff McNeil has not hit a home run since July 4th. There's just a lot of things going wrong, and when you're on a losing streak, you just seem to find new ways to lose. Good teams and hot teams find ways to win, and teams that are struggling and on losing streaks find ways to lose, and that just seems to be how baseball often plays itself out. Let's dig into a little bit more of the reaction from today's game. And before we do that, these are the latest standings, 5.5 out. I know Gary Cohen, of course, on the broadcast has been talking a lot about how the Mets and Phillies have only been, within a game of a half of each other for, 40 days. There was that long streak, but that is not the case anymore. Those days are long gone, as the Mets sit only 8 games over 500, a little bit more on that drop in a minute. But yeah, the Mets have some work to do to climb back into the NL East race. And here's the wild card race, the saving grace, the savior of the Mets in a lot of ways right now, that they still, despite this losing streak, sit a game and a half ahead of the Reds for the final wild card spot. The Reds did win today. So, yeah, the Mets have been dropping the standings. It's not what you want to see if you're a Mets fan. This is per SNY. The Mets were just swept by the Brewers, have lost 7 straight, have lost 11 of their last 12 games. And this Bart Simpson image here is pretty much how we all feel as fans, and probably how the team feels: a little dejected, demoralized, sad, depressed, not feeling good, not energized. Just not a good time for the team here. And to dig a little bit deeper into the starting pitching woes, including just not being able to go deep in games. Manaea just didn't really have it today. 4+ innings, couldn't get through the 5th. 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5K. Not terrible, not completely terrible, but pretty bad, not good enough. And the Mets just haven't gotten much length from their starters at all. Lack of clutch hitting. There's been certain themes that just seem to be repeating over and over again throughout this season. And Achilles heels, weaknesses, whatever you want to call them. This team has been struggling with a lot of the same issues. Starters not going deep, lack of clutch hitting, and even the last 2-3 weeks, the bullpen just gets taxed, and they, when they have to pitch a lot, often, every day, every other day for these guys, they're worn out too. It's a domino effect, really. Here's just_Mets here. Walk-off home run. The Mets blew a 5-0 lead today. Have now lost 7 straight games, and that's where the standing is. But the reason I pulled up this post here on X is just more or less the last statement. This is an absolute meltdown of epic proportions. I think that's how we feel as fans, echoing these sentiments. Certainly, this is what I was referring to in terms of the wild card being the Mets' saving grace, so to speak. This is per Anthony DeComo on X. The best thing you can say about the Mets right now is that the National League's middle class is not very good. Championship caliber teams tend not to lose 11 of 12 at any point, but the modern postseason structure is very, very forgiving, meaning if the Mets do get hot and they're able to turn things around, they definitely can be a threat in the playoffs, but that seems very far-fetched, if you will, at this point in the season for this team, given the way they're playing right now, heading towards mid-August, the dog days. But, we're in the final third of the season, and the clock is certainly ticking on this season for the Mets to turn things around. Otherwise, I'm getting a little bit vibes of, 07, 08, when the Mets did have leads in the division and just collapses. It's not even so much that these other teams were going to win 100 games or 90 games, or it's more about the collapse and the vibes. It's the collapsing vibes that I'm getting from this 2025 New York Mets team at the moment. Not ideal. The Mets are now 8 games over 500 this season. This is from _Mets as well. It's the fewest games they've been above 500 since April 20th when they were 15-7. Yeah, since June, it's just been not good times for this team. They just continue to struggle. This is what I was referring to about the starters not going deep into games. This is just over the weekend, _Mets again with this one. Kodai Senga only went a 4 1/3. 3 innings for Montas and 4 innings for Minaya. This is beyond ridiculous. It's just not going to get it done. It's just, again, has that domino effect on the bullpen. And what do you think the Mets hitters are thinking to themselves as they see the starters and relievers being overworked and not performing as well? Again, it's just it's a team game. These are humans, and when one aspect of the team struggles, it's human nature for another aspect of the team or part of the team to put more pressure on themselves to perform, and that's just not a formula for success. Is pressing. That's for certain. This is from Wardy. Just in case you're wondering how bad the Mets have been at getting length from their starters, this is also they flashed this on screen during the game. 53 straight games without 2 different starting pitchers recording at least 1 start of 6 innings. Longest single streak since at least 1901. Think about that for a second, because that might take a minute to comprehend exactly what that entails. But basically, it's a compliment to David Peterson, but an indictment on the rest of the staff, just unable to go deep. And they're the biggest cause of the wearing out of the bullpen, certainly, is the rest of the starters just underperforming. It's hard to describe, tough, frustrating, but we've got to turn the page. This wasn't a good showing. They pretty much outplayed us. That's Carlos Mendoza after the Mets were swept by the Brewers in Milwaukee to lose their 7th straight game. That's SNY. On Twitter X, there's not much else the Mets brass, Mets players could say at this moment other than throwing cliches at the wall and at the media in response, and being professional and answering questions. I haven't read anything yet about that sort of thing, about a real implosion in the clubhouse or anything like that. But the Mets just have to do their best to continue to stay positive the best they can. No, we can go on a run. We've still got time. It just takes putting it together, playing some good baseball. We've still got a shot. And this team has been known to go on runs. That's Brandon Nimmo. And here's Edwin Diaz. We know we've got a really good team here. We've got to stay together. We know we can turn it around on Tuesday. We can come back and play really good baseball. So the Mets are trying to stay positive, doing their best. What else can they say? What else can they do? But what do you guys think? The Mets are still in the wild card race, or still in a wild card spot right now. That's something positive. If the playoffs started tomorrow, the Mets would be a part of it. At least that's something. But can they turn it around? Can they actually turn it around and chase down the Phillies even? Is there even a point to thinking about that at this juncture in the season? Have you guys given up? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And let's go Mets.